All right, welcome. It is Nazzy from Frank FM. Of course, Nazzy and Marissa every morning waking you up 6 to 10 right here on Frank FM, home of the 1K a day payday. So this past weekend, not Marissa, I'm trying to think, okay, I've got my work wife and my real wife. So my work wife is Marissa. My real wife is Jenna. And the real wife and I got a chance finally, after I can't even tell you how long, to go on a date night. We found a babysitter. And we just went out and had a good time. We ended up going to Derry, and we ended up seeing a wonderful, wonderful show, Man on the Hill. And there's only a few dates left to see this. And let me tell you, so the next date is coming up on Friday the 13th. It's going to be in Littleton, and then Saturday in Littleton. And then the big ones are at the Rochester Opera House. That's coming up the end of May. And I've got to tell you, this was such a great show. John Stanley Shelley does it all, and he basically tells his story of growing up and falling in love and just taking you through the years, but he does it with songs and hats. And joining us right now, the man of many hats, John. And Sean is the bassist, and Sean always has different special glasses on. And Sean, I want to let you know, I did see the strings on your bass guitar glowing on stage. That was amazing, my friend. Amazing. It was a great show. So first off, John, I just want to say thank you to you for kind of bringing us on that journey. And he told the story about this girl named Summer that he meets by chance as he's living somewhere, and he's got all these different emotions that he's going through. And I'm not going to give away the ending, whether or not he ever ends up with Summer or not. But it was so much fun to listen to your songs and listen to your life. But one thing I want to comment on right away, as a fellow performer, you had every little detail down to the smallest detail taken care of, like sound effects of a fireplace, and he sits down on his old rocking chair and smokes a pipe. How long did it take you to get this whole show together, John?
Oh my goodness. Well,
yeah, really.
It's really been 2 years, I think, or
yeah.
Because if you go back to the original one where I played it as a solo and I had some of that stuff worked out, that was from 2019 to 2020, and then COVID came, and then when COVID shut down performances, partway through that, I said, well, we're going to come back bigger and better, and that's when I hooked up with Sean and the rest of the bandmates, and we made it the spectacular show that it is now.
It's so
huge.
Amazing.
I say spectacular. I'm talking about huge. I mean, we travel. We now have a crew. They got to come in and set up a whole light show, and we got props galore. And it's no little thing.
We're not TSO level, but it's pretty
right. You're not quite at TSO yet, where you've got lasers and smoke and several things. I mean, it was very. I'll tell you, man. I was completely blown away. The wife and I were blown away. We had no expectations. We were like, look, we're going to go out. It's a night out. We got a sitter. We're going to go get some dinner. And we were just blown away. We were absolutely blown away. So thank you. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks for coming.
And it really was good. But like I said, going back to the detail, I mean, even the lights, like he's got this lighting rig up on top, and you've got a guy who's running the lights, and every song, the lights are creating a different mood and a different vibe and a different energy. And you can really, and I feel like I'm telling your whole story here, John. I don't know.
It's okay.
But like you can, as you're telling the story, and this story was focused around your meeting that girl Summer. You can, the lighting cues, like at one time you were sad, you had talked about how a friend had passed away, and the lighting was a very blue light, and everybody kind of felt the same emotions. What song did you sing for that one? What was the song that when you were singing about your friend?
It's called Wednesday Afternoon.
That was the song, right? And you talked about how he had called you a few days prior, and you never returned that call. And is that true, by the way? Is that a true story?
It's a little bit true.
Okay.
many of the songs are, everybody, I always get that question is, what is this really your life? And much of it is some of it, has a little bit of creativity, thrown in. What do you call that? A creative
license.
Creative license thrown in. So with that one, the true life story was that it was my best friend's father who had passed away, and he was actually like a father to me growing up, and he died. And 3 days later, I had a premonition, like I had this thing about him, and I wanted to call him. And it was on that third day that my best friend actually called me and said, "Hey, my dad died." And so that's where the 3 day, in real life, there was 3 days and there was somebody dying. In the story, I altered a little bit to fit the storyline.
Yeah, but it flowed, man. It flowed, but we really felt for you. Like the audience could really feel with your storytelling and your song. We could feel your sadness. We could feel your emotion. And at one point, I'm starting to well up. I'm like, I know that he made this up. Why am I welling up?
We like to say that there's a thread of truth in all of the story.
Right.
They're all based on real things that happened with creative license to make them,
of course,
interesting.
Well, the bottom line is that the show is written to be anybody can relate to it. So, so I bet you somebody out there did have a friend die and they didn't get that phone call in.
Yes.
And the same with every, falling in love and all the other little tidbits that happen throughout the show. People can relate to it.
Yeah, I related to it a lot. The dog song, which I'm glad that you finally decided to put out, about the stupid dog eating his own vomit. My wife and I were dying when you did that song. It was amazing. And then you even had your sound guy did the little slide whistle as part of that song. I mean, there are so many little details that the average person would just kind of not even think about that John put in this play. And
did you crew up that song? We put it on YouTube so that you could play that today.
Hold on, give me a second. I can get that. But it was such a great time. Hang on, let me get that song while you guys are talking.
Okay.
But while I'm getting this one queued up, let's talk a little bit about some of the upcoming shows. All right, talk a little bit about what's coming up.
Well, first is Littleton, which is presenting a special challenge because it's the smallest stage of that we're playing on for the whole tour. It's only 11 feet deep. So like what you saw in Derry and what people saw in Franklin and at Interlakes, we have the band up on risers, and there's a lot of room, so it's much a more spectacular show. We have to trim it down a little bit to get to Littleton.
Yeah, it's going to be a much more intimate show where the bandmates behind John are all going to be on the same level as the stage, and we're just going to be behind the wall, but much tighter, much smaller, a much more intimate feel to that show.
And I'll tell you, that's not a bad thing. Here, I've got the song. I want to play a little bit of it. It's the dog song, and this is from the show that I was at, right?
Yes.
Hard way.
No, this was Interlakes, but yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about unexpected things, unwanted things, really, like following you into the bathroom every time you go, or eating rotten food out of the garbage, or worst of all, sticking their nose in a place it really ought not go.
This is just so good.
My dog is very stupid, but I love him anyway. I take him with me everywhere, each and every day. He loves to go on nature walks and sit down in the grass. But every time he sees you, sticks his nose right in your...
I could let that play off. I could watch that over and over. That wasn't my show, right? Which was that the night before?
That was Interlakes the weekend before. Yeah,
weekend before. Oh, it's still great, but you can really see the stage in that. You can see how well it's set up, and you come on and you're telling a story, and then you just go right into it and right into the songs. I mean, it's just so well done, man.
Well, thanks. And the dog song is clearly one that that everybody seems to walk away. Oh man, I love that song. We call it the hook song. It's the 4th song in the show, but
Yeah.
if you're not hooked already, by the time you get to the dog song, you're in.
Oh, I was hooked.
That's what we see happen.
I was hooked. Now, Sean, one thing that you had mentioned, the show is evolving and it's growing and it's very organic, and a lot of things change. So you might have seen the show at Interlakes, and it's going to be different in Rochester, correct?
Yeah, marginally. The songs are evolving, but not to any. We've kind of stopped changing genres and that stuff that we were doing beforehand. But yeah, every show is unique to that night.
Yeah.
Well, we keep perfecting things. Like we're in the middle of a conversation right now about tempo for some songs, and there's one song you might remember this one called "Rise Up."
Yes.
And literally what was happening is I went back and I listened to the tapes and I said, we're supposed to be playing this at 105 beats per minute, and we're playing too fast, right? And then today it hit me that no, this song actually should be at 2 tempos, because there's what I call the dirge part where it's really, this is awful. The world is still in trouble, and this is all right. And that should be at the slower pace. And then when we get to the chorus, when we're singing, what's it going to take to rise up? When are we going to get down? That needs to have a little more energy. So that's an example of a song in the midst of this tour is probably going to get adjusted.
Well, and that's really the beauty of what you do. It's just that you can listen back to it and say, hey, you know what? I think I want to change it here. I think I want to change this part here. I think that's amazing.
And it's not just me. And this is why I love playing with these guys in the band, why they're so awesome, is because they all will have great input and great ideas. And we generally incorporate them no matter who they come, or at least try them out.
Yeah.
No matter who has something, we try it out. And if we like it, we say, okay, let's do that.
Well, a good example of that, is Saturday night, we were doing sound check. And Doug, the keyboard player, said, I really hate that you use a harmonizer in that part.
Oh.
So Doug shut the harmonizer off, and we ran through the song, and us guys in the back were saying, yeah, that's better. And John turned around and go, was the harmonizer still on? And I said, no, I was singing the harmony to it. And we performed it that way without the harmonizer, with me singing the harmony.
And it was better.
Saturday night, and it was better.
And it was better. That's really cool. I wanted to ask you, John. Yeah. I've spoken with a lot of musicians, a lot of performers, a lot of people who write music but don't actually perform it. What is your process in writing your songs? Are you a melody first, then come up with the lyrics? Are you a lyric, then you come up with the melody? A little bit of both. Who are you?
No, there is no set way. I talk a lot of times. I don't know if I did this last time we spoke with you. Did I talk about the writing of Almighty Blues that happened in 50? So quick story. So Almighty Blues I wrote right after 9/11 happened. And I started going back to church because I hadn't been to church in a long time. I just needed a little centering, like what the heck's going on, right? And that entire song, lyrics and chords, came to me in one piece on my 15-minute walk home from church. Now that's an extreme. It rarely happens like that. But that whole song came in that 15-minute period. Songs like Rivers, Rocks, and Rain, the opening tune, that little riff that we played at the beginning, that came first, and then we built a song around it. Other ones, clearly the lyrics come first. Man on the Hill, the title cut, the lyrics came first, and then I wrote music around that. So it comes. I don't have a set way of doing anything. Songs come to me from everywhere.
A lot of Sean's head.
Isn't it great though? Because there's an occasional song that I've written that comes to you fully formed,
right,
and hits you out of the blue, chords, lyrics, arrangement, everything, and it's beautiful.
It's a God gift. It's a really great thing. Yeah,
it really is. I mean, just like you said, you're walking back from church, and that's when it strikes you. A lot of people, it strikes them when they're sleeping, and they wake up and they're like, "Wait a minute, I've got to write down this perfect melody, this perfect lyric." That's when your subconscious brain is working.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many songs I've lost to that.
Yeah, it happens. Now, did you did the songs come first or did your dialogue come first? Because that's what I really love about this show. It's every song you go into, there's a whole segue in the beginning that kind of explains why this song is getting performed. So which came first, the song or the segue?
In this case, all 100% the songs. The songs were all written, and it was after that I said, wait a minute, there's kind of a story here, and then I weave it in.
Yeah, and really that's what brought us in. That's really what brought us in. The fact that you didn't, and don't get me wrong, I love going to shows, I love watching live bands perform, but I'm all about a story. I need to know the reason why this singer felt this way. Who hurt you? That's always my question. Who hurt you? Why did you write "Hello, Lionel Richie"? Where did that come from? Who hurt you, Lionel Richie? And this was great because.
Too.
Yeah, you brought us in. You almost made us feel like we really were in the living room with you, and you were telling us a story. And it was just some people sitting around, and you were telling us the story of your life when you were a little kid sitting on the beach, looking out into the ocean to the very end, which I'm not going to give away because it is a surprise ending that you have to see. And from what I understand too, the surprise ending that we saw this past weekend, that was the first time anybody had seen that surprise ending, correct?
Right.
Yep.
that was
another part of the evolution.
Right.
Yep.
So,
that's
and so there's two things that I'm just going to touch on with that. One is I try when I write the dialogue, you may have noticed it or it may have just happened subconsciously. I talk to one person. Yes. I don't ever say you plural or like I'm talking to an audience, except when we're doing the dancing thing. But anyways, the hat. Yeah. Anyways, I'm always, the story is written like as if it's just you I'm talking to in the audience.
Right.
Shut up. And the other thing is kids. I still can't get over how this is so kid friendly, and they love it, and they get the story. They ask questions. What happened with Summer? Are you still with Summer?
Yeah, what happened with Summer?
All the way through, and so it really captures every age, every generation, and that's what makes it so fun to perform.
It was fun, and it was fun to watch. It was fun to be at, and I'm not giving anything away, but at one point in the show, John brought some people up out of the audience, and you had a guy sing the male part and a girl sing the female part, and you were singing, and it was fun. I'm clapping, singing along to the guy part, my wife singing the girl part, and you brought me into the show, man. Before I knew it, I'm singing along,
And we always ask folks to bring
silly
hats, and then they go, "Why do we need silly hats?" Well, it's for that song you're talking about. And when we turn on the audience lights, we look for the person with the silliest hat. We bring them up on stage. We have some fun. They get to go home with a free CD and an autograph poster, and so it's everything's meant to be fun. This is
the whole vibe is fun. Yeah, I mean, from the second it starts. So let me ask you this: you've performed the show a bunch of times now. What is the silliest hat you've seen? What is the weirdest hat that you've seen?
Oh my!
I'm sure you've seen some good ones.
We have. I don't know if I could describe it as silly, but look, the very first night, this woman had this. It's hard to describe because she made it. She actually made this hat, and it was like a little hat on top of a big hat. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
She's the one I brought up on stage. So it definitely caught my eye when I saw it, and that's why I picked her to come up.
We had one lady show up. And she didn't get up on stage because they were funnier hats than hers, but she had this big wide brim like a gardening hat. Mm-hmm. But she put all these flowers and a bird on the top of it, and she had really adorned the thing, with ribbons and everything else. It was awesome.
That was probably her church hat. That was probably her going out hat. I mean, she just happened to have another excuse to wear it. I mean, you never know. That's cool. I got to tell you. Let me bring that website up again so you can see the remaining dates. They're taking 2 weeks off, and after you've seen the show, you'll understand why these guys need a break. I mean, it is nonstop from the second it starts till it ends. So you've got one coming up May 13th and 14th. You're going to be in Littleton. Then you move on to Claremont. And then you finish off the Rochester Opera House. That's going to be big. That's going to be huge. And then what? Where do we go from Rochester? What's the move after that?
Well, then we start planning the fall tour. You know, we just wanted to get this one out, see how it went, see what
Yeah.
the attendance was like, and then we're going to decide whether we're going to go down to Massachusetts or Vermont or redo New Hampshire. We haven't decided yet.
Oh, please redo New Hampshire. I mean,
Well, we may
I'll-
because
you know,
there's a lot of people that haven't seen it. So
yeah, I'll follow you down to Massachusetts. I mean, just the whole vibe is just really. I love when you pulled out the rocker wig. That was so much fun. And then the band. I love the fact that you have a live band there too. That to me, as a person who's grown up with a musician in the family, that means a lot. And the fact that you were switching guitars too, and you had all your foot pedals, and you're changing the sounds of your guitar. It was just it wasn't lost on me, John. You know, all of the details I noticed, and I was watching. It was a really good time, and like they say, it's not just for adults. It's for kids. It's for anybody that wants to have a good time. You know, this is kind of something I could picture in like an outdoor amphitheater, with just a large group of people, just a festival atmosphere where people just want to kind of relax and have a good time and sing along to some tunes.
yeah.
And I urge anybody that has either seen John, has seen the band, has seen the Man on the Hill, share this video, share the pictures from your show, get on social media, let people tell people about this show, because it's just that magnificent.
Thank you. And that, that's why we appreciate you having us on and saying that specifically, because we can say all day long, this is really great. You got to come see it. But, when someone else that's been there, then that's what's really going to make a difference.
A little more weight to people, because we're sharing stuff all the time on Facebook, and you get the interactions with it, but it's when the people that have been to the show share their stuff that we see a bigger reaction.
Yeah, it was great. And I'll tell you this too, definitely bring your silly hats. But if you don't get a chance, if you forget to bring your silly hat, we enjoyed making our little hats. I don't know if you saw them.
I did.
Yeah, I enjoyed making a hat. You have like these old-fashioned, drive-in diner paper hats.
Photoshop hats, they call them, or ice cream man hats. Yeah.
Yeah. And we made some hats. It was great. It was just a lot of fun. So please share this video, share any pictures that you took at the show. At the end, John and the guys come over and they shook everybody's hand. Like every single person that wanted to go over and see you, you waited around and shook their hand. I thought that was pretty darn cool. We want to
connect.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I just said we love connecting with the folks, and then and when we get that few minutes to hear what touched them the most, what song they liked the most, which part of the story they were intrigued with, that helps us feed, again, just continually getting better.
I love seeing their faces and their eyes, especially after we're done playing, because they are just so enthralled with what we've just done. And they're wide-eyed and they can't believe it, and they're excited and they want to talk to us, and they want to tell us how they felt. And it's as a performer, it's an amazing feeling to have people connect with the stuff that you're doing that deeply and want to talk to you after the fact.
Yeah, it's true. Did you ever get with Summer? Whatever happened to Summer? I'm sure that I know, right? That's the question that everybody gets. The song that touched me the most, and I want to ask both of you the same question. Out of the songs that were performed the other night, which one touched you the most? For me, it was the second to last song of the show. Important Things. Yeah, that song. Oh my goodness, it just resonated in my ears about focusing on what's important in your life, and don't let the bad, and don't worry about the bad. Focus on the good. That song absolutely touched me.
Well, that's awesome.
Good.
Yep. I love that song. All right. So Sean, we'll start with you. Which song for you resonates the most?
Oh, geez.
It changes.
It's a running joke with the band we'll play a song. I go, Jesus, I love that song. I love this song. I love this song. I love them all. First off, they're all our babies. You know, we love them all. The one that I am drawn the most to is "That's the Way." It's the soft one that's I think it's just before "Important Things."
No,
It's towards the end.
Yeah, it's in second act.
Yeah, it's in second act.
But yeah, I like "That's the Way" because it's such a tender and open and vulnerable and emotional song about how this guy feels, and it's great to play a song that you can, get deep into how he feels, and the song is just beautiful.
Yep, I agree. All right, John, which one speaks to you the most?
Which one speaks to you the most?
And there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, well, I would have to, there's all of them hit me for different reasons. I think at the moment, and again, for me, it evolves as well. It could be which one I played the best or which one that particular night I connected with. I think overall at the moment, my favorite is the song called "You Are Unbelievable."
Yeah. Yes, that's your yes. That's the commercial. That's the song that's in the commercial.
Yes, right. And it has a lot to do with how I met my wife in real life, so that's why it touches home.
I love that one too.
But my second favorite is "Temptation Woman," because I get to do some really nice guitar work on that, which I love doing. So,
yeah. You know what, Sean? We'll let John pick two. John can pick two. It's his show. He's allowed to pick two.
I'm sorry. The rules. I'm always breaking the rules.
He's got a bigger dressing room. He's got
we can't look him in the eye.
You're not allowed to talk to him. The limo. No, it's not true at all. I mean, I got a chance to go backstage halfway through. John was just sitting down, man. He's like, "Hey, Naz, what's up?" He was just sitting in the where it was like the cafeteria or something like that downstairs.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He was just sitting there chilling, man, saving his voice because there are some strong vocals. Yeah, that's right. But the humidity's got to be at exactly 68%. No, we get you. I want to urge everybody, once again, let me bring up the website so you can see the remaining dates. Please check it out. This is going to be one of those things where a few years from now, when this guy's performing on Broadway or some big, at the Apollo or something like that, you're going to be able to go through your feed on your Facebook and you're going to be like, I remember him when he was playing the Rochester Opera House, So get these pictures now. Because it only goes up from here. You know what I mean?
We hope so.
Yeah.
That's what we're working for.
Yes.
Yep.
That's it. Guys, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. And thank you for this great show. I can't wait to see it again. I really can't.
Oh, thank you, Naz.
Good. Thanks.
We'll see you again sometime soon.
It's it, brother. All right. Next time.
All right.